You better do this or else. It's been my experience and the experience of many people I've spoken to, that when he comes to ask you to do something, he literally puts it before you. Why don't we do this? And you have a choice. Hasatan comes with you, you better do this or else. That's it, you're done. God always comes in that soft, still, I stand before you. Come and follow me. The choice is yours. Never takes that away from you. You always have a choice to walk with him or ignore him. And you have moments in your life, like I said, with your priorities, that you will do that. You will either walk with him in the morning or you will ignore him because you really want to eat Kellogg's. Or you will walk with him, maybe at night before you go to sleep, but maybe you're really tired and you're rather go to bed. We have moments of obedience and moments of bad choices and good choices, and we need to continually check ourselves so that we prioritize accordingly. And yet you haven't listened so far. Hashem said this, by this you will know. Remember, you're there. To know something biblically is the same as to know my wife on my wedding night. An intimate understanding of oneness. I know, not here, but here. Okay? It is not some weird understanding. This is about knowing. When you watch old married couples that have been doing this for 30, 35, 40 years, when they look at each other across the room, they know exactly what the other one is thinking, and then they carry on. They've just had this massive conversation, and you didn't hear a word, and yet they understand. That is what he's talking about. You will know me. You will understand me. You will have walked with me. So that when I'm finished with you, you will know here. By this will you know that I am Hashem. Here, I'm striking the staff that is in my hand on the waters that are on the Nile, and they'll be changed to blood. And the fish in the Nile will die. And the Nile will stink, and Egypt will weary themselves to drink water from the Nile. And Hashem said to Moses, say to Aaron, take out your staff and reach out over Egypt's waters, over their rivers and over their canals, over their pools and over every concentration of their waters. And they will be blood. And the blood will be in all of the land of Egypt, in the trees and in the stones. This is not just as the History Channel will try and help you understand that it was a weird form of red algae that made the water turn red, so everybody thought it was blood. This blood went all the way in, that even the stones that were able to capture water inside of them because of magnesium deposits that happened in the wilderness, even that water that was inside the stone turned to blood. Even the bowls of water that they had in their houses turned to blood. And the place stank. There were some very, very strong images here. One, Nile is your God. Who is your God? Boom, he's dead. He's supposed to give you life? No, I am the one that gives life. Another image. I hold you accountable for the blood of the babies. You will answer for this. And it's amazing how the first plague ties in with the last plague. The death of the firstborn. You sacrifice my children for your name's sake, where you cannot even protect someone that I have given you. And I will protect your son from becoming like you by taking you away. Remember, it's not a punishment, it is mercy. Okay? And Moses and Aaron did so as Hashem had commanded, and he raised the staff and struck the waters that were in the Nile before Pharaoh's eyes and before his servants' eyes, and all the waters that were in the Nile were changed into blood. And the fish in the Nile died, and the Nile had an odor, and Egypt was not able to drink water from the Nile, and the blood was in all the land of Egypt. And Egypt's magicians did so with their charms. I love it. Every time they come out and they replicate a sign, they never reverse it. We have a little bit of water, let's turn it into blood. This is not a good idea. Okay? But they do it because they want to prove that their God is as strong. Okay? And Pharaoh's heart was strong. Pharaoh's heart, not God hardened Pharaoh's heart. Pharaoh's heart was strong. And he did not listen to them. And Hashem had spoken. And Pharaoh turned and came into the house, and he did not pay heed to this as well. And all Egypt dug around the Nile for waters to drink, because they were not able to drink the waters from the Nile. God allows them to find fresh water. Mercy. God is not about punishing, He is teaching. I don't want to kill you. He could have just caused massive lightning storms, struck everybody dead, like, maybe Sodom and Gomorrah, and then boom, done. Job done, okay, please walk on. He's trying to teach them. And 7 days were filled after Hashem striking the Nile. 7 days it was blood. And Hashem said to Moses, come to Pharaoh and you'll say to him, Hashem said this, let my people go, so that they may serve me. And if you refuse to let them go, I am plaguing all the borders with frogs. And the Nile will teem with frogs. And they'll go up and come to your house and in your bedroom and on your bed, in your servant's house and among your people and your ovens and your bowls. And the frogs will go up on you and on your people and on your servants. And Hashem said to Moses, say to Aaron, reach out your hand with your staff over the rivers, over the canals and over the pools, and bring up the frogs from the land of Egypt. And Aaron reached out his hand over Egypt's waters, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their charms. And they brought up frogs from the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron and said, pray to Hashem that he will take away the frogs from me and from my people, so that I may let the people go. And they'll sacrifice to Hashem. And Moses said to Pharaoh, be honored over me as to when I'll pray for you. So he allows this massive thing to carry on. And then he says, when do you want it to stop? I'll pray for you and your servants and for your people to cut off the frogs from your houses, and they'll be left only in the river. And he said, tomorrow.
Sorry, God turned the Nile water into blood. He did undo it again.
It said it was blood for 7 days.
Each page basically
He reversed, yes. But remember, it's teaching, and then he allows it to stop. Teaching, allows it to stop. Okay? So he goes, tomorrow. I'll have the plague for 1 more day, thank you. This term, tomorrow, is what God uses every time he reverses his plagues. So, we'll read about it, and then you'll see it'll stop tomorrow. It'll stop tomorrow. It'll stop tomorrow. And he said, according to your word, so that you'll know that there is none like Hashem our God. And the frogs will turn away from you and from your houses and from your servants and from your people. They'll be left only in the river. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh. And Moses cried out to Hashem over the matter of the frogs that he had set upon Pharaoh. And Hashem did according to Moses' word. And the frogs died from the houses, from their yards, and from their fields, and they piled them up in heaps, and the land stank. What was a frog? What was the frog a god of in Egypt?
Fertility. Fertility.
A lot of them were fertility.
But for the women, didn't you say it was fertility mainly for women?
Stand to be corrected, but I think it was also resurrection.
Because they hibernate, come out of the sand.
Okay. Alright? So, where's your God? The land stinks because he is dead. Can he save you? No. God continually teaching who is more powerful. And this stinky land sort of there's a wonderful play here. One, remember, in the beginning of this whole story, he said that the Hebrews became odious in their sight. They stank in when they looked at them. So it was kind of a distasteful look. All right? And so he's saying, but you are stinky in my sight, because this paganness, this fact that you have left me, that you have walked away from it, that you're worshipping all these gods, all I see is death. And it's not a sweet aroma like when he describes the sacrifices. He says, the land stank. Okay? And Pharaoh saw that there was a break, and he made his heart heavy, and he did not listen to them, as Hashem had spoken. So you have this continual sort of play. God teaches you something, and he'll take you through the wilderness, and said, I've seen this a few times. Oh, love so hard, I need to cling to God. Lord, pray for me, pray for me. And then everybody prays for them, and miraculously something happens. Poof, poof, poof. And they get a break. And they go, thanks. And that's the last time you hear the words, pray for me. It's the last time you see them walk into a fellowship hall. It's the last time you see them read their Bible, because they received a break from oppression. There's a pastor by the name of Dr. Randall Smith, archaeologist who teaches really, really good stuff. And he says, you know, his viewpoint is if he will not pray for respite of testing for people who have not turned their hearts fully to God. He says, I would rather let them go through a wilderness so that when their bums hit the ground and their world falls apart and they realize they need God, then he'll sit with them and pray for them, because he's more concerned about their salvation than their comfort. And I have to say, I think that is a very godly viewpoint. As much as I want you to be happy, it does not matter if you're happy and you're not saved. I would rather have you saved first. And then, when you start receiving those blessings and that abundance and that comfort, you understand where it's coming from. And you can appreciate that it's a gift, not because you're awesome. And you start to understand how much love God has for you to provide for you for that comfort level, where before you thought it was all about you.
It's like with the Israelites, when they moved from Egypt to go to the Promised Land, God didn't give them all the wealth and say, off you go, because they would have just become Canaanites from one bondage to the next. So He gave them that time in the desert to see, get your perspective right on what's important, because they just wanted the $1 million, and then off they were, they'd be happy. Yeah. And then He actually said, no, but that won't feed you, that won't look after you. If you get sick, that's not going to heal you. So He had to show them what was important, and then gave them like manna and water and that type of thing and teaching.
Yeah. It's the same way as Jesus teach Pharaoh. Every time we talk about a plague, we're talking about a God of resurrection, a God of life, a God of medicine, a God of wisdom, a God of safety, a God of crops.